Chris Cavercles, representing Consolidated Pipe and Supply, distributor for Master Meter here in Tennessee.
Scott Riley, Regional Vice President of Sales for the Eastern part of the country.
All right. We have 9 people that have called in and registered to speak, is what we have. If I call your name, will you raise your hand so that we know you're here? Brett Johnson, Stacy Smith, Stoney Jackson, Bruce Heath, Ronnie Pruitt, David Howard, Keith Shannon, Jane Knox, and Jan Connolly. All right. We're going to start off as we had stated, 3 minutes to speak. You get the floor for 3 minutes. And we're going to start off with who was the first on the list, Brett Johnson.
Last year, we'll just continue with the economy. Last year, fiber going in down our street. Spring, summer, fall. Y'all's line kept getting hit. We kept losing water. They had to validate one ticket. Kept counting, kept repeating. Not a single blue mark out there. Not a single blue flag. Y'all are not marking your lines. That line busts, we know our bill goes up for some damn reason. Why is that? Last winter, all them lines got breaking. We went weeks without water. It is 2024 at that point, 2025. How is that possible? What else?
I'm sure there's more, but there's more. But they don't do their jobs. We all know.
We are doing weekly calls to the comptroller until this issue's fixed. I recommend everyone else do it. That's the only way shit's going to change. Y'all's meters, I know you got class action lawsuits against you. We're going to join up with that lawyer firm because y'all are robbing us. It is a poor area, and y'all are robbing us. Thank you.
All right, what we have in mind is 3 minutes you speak. We'll try to answer some questions after each person. That's what we like to do. To your questions only, not opening the floor up for questions from everybody. Yes, you did have a leak at your meter for 6 weeks. Months. It has not been 6 months. Okay, that's all I have to say about that. I have your 12-month history in front of me, is what I have. 2 years, actually. It goes all the way back to 12/8/23. You have multiple high bills going back that far, is what you have.
The leak was not on our end, it was your side leak.
I'm answering your next question about how come the bills are going up as history shows that your bills have been up, you fluctuate highly. I mean, you can have a 4-month period, good, 2 bills in a row high. Same thing that's taking place right now. I mean, you're gonna hear a broken record out of these meters, I'm sorry, but the meters that was in the ground are outdated. They're not reading accurate. The old meters are not reading accurate. Okay? That's all I have to say on that, Mr. Johnson. Moving forward, I saw Stacy Smith walked in. Stacy, you're next on the list. Yep. Hold on.
Hey, Brett,
I can't hear the radio coming.
whenever this is over, get with us, we'll go over your 2 years, we'll look at everything in writing. And we'll talk about it one-on-one, that way everybody don't have to know what your bill is.
Mr. Smith.
Okay,
Go ahead.
since we got the new meters in, the water bill at my house has went up tremendously. I don't understand that, why. I know the rates go up, y'all's rates went up. But what I'm saying is that best I recall, it was like 208, and then it went back down to 146 or something like that. And I did nothing no different. I was told, well, you had a water leak in the house or mold running or whatever. I stood at the meter for 30 to 45 minutes. That hand never moved. So you tell me why that it went up and then went down that tremendous amount. And then I also, when you get through answering that, or do you want me to ask every question?
Go ahead, Mr. Smith, ask all you got to ask. Go ahead and ask all you have.
The other one is, I heard that y'all was in a lawsuit about the new meters. And then I heard also that through my Pulaski Water Department that y'all were paying like $3.16 per 1,000 gallons. Is that correct?
No, sir.
The lady in the office up there, that's the way she told it to me. So she said that, what do y'all pay for the water through Pulaski?
What is it? Like 356 is what it is per 1,000 gallons, what we're paying.
Kirby, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then what does that figure per gallon?
We charge
Not, anybody do a figure on
Stacy, I keep this, I have it in some back notes. It's $11 or something is what we're charging per 1,000 gallons. All right. I already have your usage for this next month. You went from a 112 on your first high bill usage. Then you went to an 83 usage. Your next usage will be 39, is what that'll be, 3,900 gallons. We have not touched your meter, haven't done anything, so we have no way to make the usage go down. Okay?
I've done nothing no different, that's what I don't understand.
We've done nothing no different
Each
either.
month, I'm doing nothing any different. Why is the usage being higher?
So if you're,
Stacy, for the meter change, you had a 9,400 gallon usage, which was $129 for the meter change out. Back in 6/6/24, you had 115 usage. That's a year ago. I mean, you got a few fluctuations in there. Most of yours stay pretty normal, but you have some, like I said, up to 148 to 129, and a bunch at the $60 and $70 range.
That's on the old meter.
I mean, I know I don't have as big a water bill as some of these that I've heard about has, but still, I mean, that fluctuation there, it shouldn't be that much. Because I didn't have it when, I know you said the old meters don't read correct, so I heard you right back on.
Yes, sir.
But I didn't have that when that was going on. Why am I having it now?
But that's what we're trying, before we
And
ever
I'm
changed
doing
your
nothing
old
different.
meter out, you already had a high bill. So you was already having a high usage. And then when you do change the meter out and it's picking up every bit of flow, it's gonna make it that much more. Is what it'll do. To answer your other question about being in a lawsuit, no sir, we're not in a lawsuit. Nothing has been filed to us saying we're actually in a lawsuit. Is that it?
I guess you just pay it, or you don't have no water. I don't know what people on fixed income's gonna do though.
You should do the math on that.
All right, moving forward, we have Tony Jackson.
I'm not, my water bill has been pretty well the same. It went up once or twice there, pretty high compared to, I'm not really complaining about that. I still got an old meter. So, been able to change mine out, couldn't find it to get it done. What to do. Are y'all making the depreciation on these lines?
Are we meeting him?
Yeah.
We're getting close to being there.
Well, if you don't meet the depreciation, the state's gonna come down, they're gonna increase you the water rate. So, we'll have another increase here. And this past increase was pretty high, 20%. Yeah, that's pretty steep.
But when your supplier passes it on, what do you do?
Well, you need to look ahead and you see this coming, do just a little increase at a time over the years. And I just like the property tax went up 16%. It's got more your water bill if you want to be, and that's done been discussed as high as the electric bill. And mine gets pretty close to it. The electric bill $200, the water bill is close to $100. And if you have another increase, that'll just be, another problem we get. Now, another question about these smart meters that I've heard from people say that one of those guys that was putting those meters in said these meters are already outdated. Anything to do with that? Some of you meter readers are. Is it true or not true?
It's not true, I mean, there's other
Why
technologies.
would that fellow say that?
So there's multiple technologies out there, we offer several of them. The solution that we found best fit for this particular utility was the 3G meter. And that 3G is not like a 3G cell phone. It's just our third generation technology.
Well, are you in a lawsuit with other
We
same
prob-
company?
I mean, we have some lawsuits, but we're not in anything that's regarding accuracy of the meter.
The north end of the county, several years ago, the north end of the county, when they were just getting the minimum bill, big majority of the cook. Is that changing?
I don't know of anything on that taking
When I
place.
was on the county commission, I had run the statistics on that up there for water department. Very few people up there was even using it. And you'll never make the depreciation on a minimum bill. Ain't no way.
Sir, I have 4 taps up there, and,
Yeah, you may, but I'm talking about the majority of people.
well, but what I'm saying, we did not get a minimum bill. It wasn't locked in at a minimum.
Yeah, well, a lot of these people up there are, 'cause I know some of this, I got a meter, but I don't use it.
Well, now, if that's the case, that is the case.
Yeah.
If they're not using
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm talking about. You still, you can't make the depreciation on these lines if they don't use no water. And you can't make them use no water. Now, the next question, consolidation. I've been hearing talk going on, we're gonna consolidate these utilities. They done more. And that may happen in Giles County with another two. So, I don't know what would happen if the distance on it may go up even more, but now, y'all don't have no contract with Class Union Water, do you?
No, sir.
Do you have one with Limestone County?
No, sir.
When the people, why would they have a contract?
We have spoke of it, and they will not do a contract with both districts.
Now, the Southern Water Authority is trying to get started up again. Are y'all participating in it?
We have a member from every utility in the county is
And where's that,
on that.
what is that doing?
Sir,
What is that doing?
they're looking for an alternate source of water is what they're looking for.
So they're looking at that river again.
Yes,
That was done several years ago. And it's not hard to see, but the line's not big enough. That's all I got.
all right, thank you, Mr. Jackson. Moving
Oh,
forward.
I got one more for you. I got one more time, I guess. You turn your office, who's up for the next appointment?
Next appointment, Reach would be the next board member to come up for re-election or go off.
And that's every 4 years.
Yes, sir.
3.
3 years?
They're moving to the board.
I've still got one more year.
Rick, just like,
Yes, sir.
did he finish out his term or did you?
I have no idea whether he did or not.
Yes, sir, he did, he finished his term.
So,
Brute, you done, Mr. Jackson?
yeah, that's it.
Moving forward, Bruce Heath.
Yeah, I'm Bruce Heath, right down the road on Salem Road. And the reason I'm here, first of all, to make it feel good. My new meters read like my old. My bill's to the pig. My problem is a 25% rate increase. Can you explain that to me? I've lived all over the world, and I have never experienced a 25% rate increase. Last year, we got a 4% rate increase because you were 2 years in a row with a net decrease. All right? Then we wake up with a 25% increase. Do you publish these rate increases before you get them, or we just get them on the bill?
Get them on the bill. And also.
It was on your bill.
On the bill and on the website.
Right, but was it in advance?
Yes, sir, it come out the month before is what it come out.
Okay, I guess I didn't read the fine print.
Because we ate 1 month of it.
You did?
We ate 2 months of it.
Well, I don't think I got 1 month, but that's okay. You
We did, but you didn't. We didn't pass that on to you for 2 months.
So, yeah, I guess my biggest question is, how do you justify a 25% rate increase? I mean, if I look at Pulaski, they're $25 a month. If I look at Limestone County, they're $25 a month. Plus, they're getting more water. You said 25%. I broke out my calculator. And it looked to me, if the 2024 rates were 29.10, then when it jumped up to 41.95, that was about a 44 to 15% increase. And then when I looked at the excess usage amount, which jumped up from $11 and change to $15 and change. That was a 29% increase. So whose calculators are?
The 25 and the 20, and the 4% and the 25% is where that 29% come in.
No, I took the 2004 rates, which was $29.10. If you add 25% to that, that's $36.38. And if I took the $11.97 excess water rate and I add 25% to that, that's $14.96. There's only a 60 cents difference there, but you're talking about almost $5.50. So what I'm trying to say is, not only did we go up 25%, it doesn't look to me like the calculation works.
Amen.
Now, so I don't use a lot of water. That's because I buy all my drinking water. Okay, if you look at mine, you'll see I'm not here to complain about my rate.
Yes, sir, your
But I
bill.
walk out there and I take a picture of that meter about 5 days in a row, because you don't come by every 30 days. You don't come by every 29 days. I got 10 months worth of bills, and they go anywhere from 28 to 43 days between readings. Okay? So nobody here can budget off of that. All right? It doesn't affect me. I pay my water bill, and my water bill is low compared to some of these people. And I got 2 horses, a mule, 4 dogs, and a cat that's drinking water. All right? But my heartburn is a 25% increase. If you look at the median income in Minor Hill or Giles County, you're looking at $40,000 to $50,000 a year, which means half is earning less than that, and half is earning more. But this is not a big community. So I think everybody here would like to know how you justify a 25% rate increase. That's all I got to say. That's a just.
Mr. Jackson spoke of having contracts for this water. We do not currently have contracts, never have had a contract. Minor Hill Utility buys 100% of its water. We buy it from the city of Pulaski, and we buy it from Limestone County. We have reached out.
$3.50 per 1,000 gallons.
No, sir. We pay $3.50 from Pulaski. We pay $4.16 for what comes from Limestone County.
Well, they lied to
Is what we pay.
you. They lied to you.
Okay. So it costs more money to buy water from Limestone County than it does from Pulaski. If we could get it all from Pulaski, we would.
Right.
Okay? But we currently don't have contracts. Okay? We reach out and we ask when it's time to figure for the year, is there any near futures that look like a rate increase is coming? No, that's what we hear from both parties. And then into the year, they send it to us with no notice whatsoever. Okay? So we paid it for 2 months, and y'all customers did not. So it had to be passed on to y'all.
What?
The rate increase.
Yeah, but what is the rate increase 25%? What went up 25%? When I looked at Pulaski rate, it only went up 10%.
Mr. Heath, living out in a rural area, it takes a whole lot more pipe, infrastructure, electricity, everything to pump the water to everybody's house. Is what it takes us. So it makes us go up. Why did Pulaski go up? I don't have a clue. I can't do anything
It
about
only
it.
went up 88 cents. But the fact of the matter is, I know the history behind the utility. There's 175 of them, 172, 175 in the state of Tennessee. Okay, I know how they got here, but I believe, me personally, that they've really outdone their usefulness. Giles County needs a county water system, like every place else has got. And I spoke to the county executive about that. And yeah, it takes money. It's called infrastructure money. And it's there. You got a right to darn grants. And guess what? You got the University of Southern Tennessee, who's allocated all kinds of federal money that would assist this county in writing for those grants. Ardmore, where our water normally breaks every winter, you live where I live, it comes here, they just got a $15 million federal grant, plus a state grant. Okay? And I saw you had grants, which is paying for your water meters. At least that's what the audit said, and that's what their website says, ARP. So I'm just confused on how this water, this utility district could raise their rates on a little over 3,000 customers, 25%. Now, everybody in this room, and I don't know anybody in this room, probably would call that price gouging. But for utility districts, that's called monopoly pricing.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, and I think, I know I am, I'm gonna approach the state comptroller. Me personally, I'm not faulting anybody up there that's trying to do their job the best they think they can. But I think 25% increase in a rate with 1 month's notice, no meeting, I know that we don't have a vote in it. I know we don't vote for you. I know how you get there, okay? You gotta be recommended by one of you three. You put on a list, and the county executive signs off on it. And I don't doubt anybody there trying to do the best job they can. I just think there's a better way than imposing a 25% rate. And I don't care if it's $10, okay? It's integrity. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Ronnie Pruitt is not present. Moving forward to David Howard.
Okay. I got all my stuff written down here and trying to get it in within 3 minutes. Kind of pertaining to what he's saying there, how can you make a budget for this year when the year 2024, you haven't even turned in the audit to the controllers, and you're 5 months late doing that, which then caused the controller hasn't even approved your last 2024 budget. They ain't even approved it, so your budget wasn't even approved. Now you're making a new budget for this next year of 25%. Usually when they do the audit, the comptroller tells you, like when it was 4%, they said you needed to do something about it, so you raised it to 4%. You don't even have an audit in there so that they can tell you to raise it to 25%, so why? Okay, so we go on. When Ardmore Fiber Optics was going through and getting installed, they broke many, many water lines. Was Ardmore charged for the repairs and the loss of gallons that we're ended up probably paying for? Or did you take that cost in that is causing us to pay it, so does that raise it up that 25%? So all these leaks that you're having and losses, some of these losses, there was one right across my road that went on for weeks, and it was pumping enough water in. There's a pond down the hill. I'm talking thousands and thousands of gallons that went over there. Who paid for that? Yeah, you bought it from Pulaski, but by you guys not fixing it, then it passes on to us. The other thing is let me look here. Our old brittle water system that keeps breaking, sometimes by the frost heaves and everything else, that needs to be more addressed and fixed and change lines than to put in new smart meters that are questionable, that have a history from other systems, yes, other systems with the master meter. One of the settlements against you guys was $1.2 million. Okay? Now you say it's not accuracy. Whoa. There's many different things that can cause your thing. If they wasn't installed right, certain types of your meter needs to have a straight pipe on both sides, not an elbow. That elbow can cause swirling, which makes the meter go faster. Bubbles, when it was installed, if bubbles are in there, that can go back and forth and make the meter spin when it shouldn't. Okay? There's many, many different things that is happening in these old meters, or these new meters. And it's happening all over. Odessa, Texas. Plano, Texas. Okay? Now, I just reported a leak again over on Oak Grove Road. That was Saturday. I went and checked it again. Now, these are gallons. Sometimes more than 100 gallons, 300 gallons, 1,000 gallons a day. And like you said, how much are you paying for that? Who does that get cost onto? Don't you have enough people to sit out there and run out there and fix that right now to save that thousands of gallons? That's loss. See, that's what you deal with, is loss. And you're trying to deal with loss with new meters to where we pay for the damn thing.
Doc, your time's up. Mr. Howard. You're four
Lower that bill to what needs you.
multiple questions, Mr. Howard.
Also, Mr. Howard, we have passed on bills to Ardmore, we probably didn't have that scare before.
What's that?
We have passed on bills for the repair and water loss to Ardmore, the drilling or boring company. We probably won't have to scare before, because they probably not gonna pay.
They ain't paying,
Not yet.
but we're expecting to pay.
You pay for what they'll say you meter, yes.
So in other words, they won't pay because water they use by loss. So what if we all stop paying? Who are you gonna get the money from then?
We'll cut you water.
We've got your water.
Yeah.
But you
What
guys
if
are
they all
saying
come out?
everyone has a leak, how can
What
everyone
if
have a
we
leak?
all cover it? We can band together here too, you know.
Well, nobody have no water.
So, I drink my water,
All right,
and I can get water from a spring.
do you wanna let us answer the question?
What?
Your usage, the same thing. You've had 3 high bills, and then your reading is already in for this next bill. You have a usage of 30, is what you have. So how did the same meter that's been reading high, I mean, we ain't touched the meter. Why did it go down?
You know why? We haven't flushed the damn toilet. We drink our water. We haven't used any water. Now, in past times, like a year ago or 2 years ago, we'd have a bill that go up to $100. It didn't bother me because I knew I used that extra water. So when I use something extra, I'm willing to pay for it. But when I'm not using it, I'm not. But when should I go with pissing in the toilet 4, 5, 6, 7 times and not flushing it, and you go in there and you smell it? When is that available? Okay, we lowered our bill. Now we can pay it because I'm on Social Security. What? Do we go back to outhouses now? Because we can't pay your bill, and if we shut it off, you're gonna shut us off if we don't pay the bill?
All right, you said you had a leak on your road and it run out thousands of gallons and filled a pond. Mr. Howard, I live on the same road as you.
Yeah.
I have chicken barns on that same road.
No, you put
The
up
same
another
day,
one too.
let me speak, Lisa. Same day the leak occurred, I didn't have no water at that chicken barn. That leak was fixed within 4 hours.
Both down.
Both times. Happened on Christmas Eve last year and it was fixed within 4 hours.
No,
Okay? like we said again, there is currently no lawsuit against Minor Hill for the.
Not yet.
Is what it's not.
Not yet.
Moving forward. Kenneth Shannon.
Good afternoon. My name's Ken Shannon. I live on Cottonwood Mill Road and the subject line is water pressure. In January of this year, we had a water pressure issue at the house. One of the crews came out, checked it, it was 80 psi at the meter. So it turned out to be my problem, the pressure regulator in the house, we had that fixed and the water pressure was fine. About 3.5 months ago, we began to notice that water pressure fluctuated during the day and started diminishing over time. We made several calls, dozens of calls, never got a call back. They did finally come out and check the pressure at the meter. It was 40. So in a few months, it had dropped from 80 to 40. And it continued to drop to the point where we couldn't flush the toilets in the house. The water barely came out of the spigot. The hot water heater wouldn't work. And it basically became uninhabitable. And I had to do some things myself for a plumber to be able to use the water in the house. So the silence and the non-communication that we received on this issue, to me, suggests total incompetence in the way this department's being run. It's either incompetence, you don't care, or you don't know what you're doing. Because nothing seems to be getting done. So my question is here tonight, we have water pressure issues on Powder Mill Road. What's the problem? And what's in the plan to get it fixed?
Is your water pressure not fixed today?
No.
We have one work order in the office where you have called and turned in.
Correct.
That is it. But you said you called multiple times.
I called dozens of times.
But we only have one work order.
Well, it's on your reception. She answered Look, I'm not lying. I called dozens of times. I called a real nice lady. She was the sweetest lady ever. She said she would get back with me, or she was going to have the manager call me. Never happened. So it just continued to go down. To finally, the water pressure in my house dropped below 30, and it became uninhabitable at the house. I couldn't live there because I didn't have any water pressure. And nobody from the department still hasn't called. And they promised to call back, but they never called back. There is a water pressure issue. It goes from 80 to 40 in a few months. There's an issue somewhere. And all we need to do is a little communication to figure out what the issue is and what's in the plan to get it fixed. That's all I'm asking.
Mr. Shannon, all I know is they fixed a leak out there the other day, and multiple people in that area have called and commended us on fixing and how much better their water pressure is what they've called and said.
Mr. Shannon?
Yes, sir.
I'll get with Chance, maybe have a guy ride and see if we've got another leak out there somewhere. I mean, you know, a lot of these are put in, they were put in close to the road. That would be my suggestion. And from now on, if you don't get results in the first few weeks, come to the board meeting.
Well, I will say, in your defense, because of the water pressure issue, my house became uninhabitable. We had to move out until this was fixed. I have a pump there now, and the pump is running. So I can turn the pump off and check to see if the water pressure is adequate without the pump. My issue was, I know there's going to be problems. Every business, every kind of entity has a problem. But you have to communicate with your customers on what you're doing about it. Yes, we recognize there's a problem. I think we need to get this fixed. I'll call you back and let you know what we got in the plans to get it fixed. My problem is there's no communication. Nobody talks to me about what's going on. So I ended up spending considerable money to be able to live in my house. And that's, I mean, if I got water pressure now, that's great. I know a lot of people on the road were complaining about it. And if it's fixed now, that's great. And I'll check that when I
Check
go
and
home
see.
and put my pump on.
Moving forward, Jane Knox.
Mary Jo.
Mary Jane Knox, I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'm gonna be a breath of fresh air, because all I can say is, I live in Birmingham, and anybody else out here lives in Birmingham, you know, sulfur off the lakes of fire in hell is in this wells. If it hadn't been for Minor Hill Water, I wouldn't be able to live in Buckingham. Thank y'all for that. Last week I called because I had water pressure problems. I live on the very tail end of Weekly Creek Road before it hits Lawrence County. So I know I'm on the very end of the line. But the young lady that I talked to said, we'll have a guy call you in a day or so, we'll get somebody out there and look around and see if we've got any leaks. Apparently we had leaks. And on Saturday, in fact, I turned the kitchen water on and it was like, wow, we have water pressure again. So, yay, thank you very much for that. I will say one thing bad. The water bill did go from like $60 a month to $90 to $100, and I'm not liking that. But I like it better than I like the fires of hell sulfur. So that's all I'm gonna really say.
Thank you, Ms. Knox. Yes, the leak has already been fixed and your water pressure has been restored.
Yes.
Jane Conover.
Yes, sir. I'm down on Mount Hill Highway, right there at the Beans. And the water's been turned off there for over 2 years. I would think that y'all probably changed the meters out because the reading changed from 9117 to zeros and went to 4950. I would assume that's about the time you changed the meters out.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, all of a sudden, I got a bill for $3,481. Nobody lives in that house. It has been turned off. He went and checked it after I come down to the water department the second time. Or he was going to. I assume he did. And I showed him a picture of where it showed it was turned off. But it was turned off before that, and when my granddaughter went over there to check the meter, she got to take a picture beforehand. But it was running. The water was going through it. But it was in off position. So I would say that meter might have had something wrong with it. And I sure can't afford no $5,012 bill. I'm on Social Security, and like I said, it is cut off over there. But I didn't want the reconnect fee and everything, so we just been paying the minimum payment. So what did I do?
I want to clarify that you said it was cut off and it still was going through.
Yeah.
Okay, we have not touched your meter. We have not touched the cut off. We have not touched the cut on or anything on it.
Well, it was still cut off.
Your meter, if it's cut off, you have a usage of 0 for this next month.
Yeah.
So there is no way that it was cut off and water going through it. So somebody had cut it on.
Because she turned it on to make sure she had it off, turned it back off and it quit running.
I mean, somebody cut it on, and that's not us. I mean, we're not going to come around and cut meters on.
Well, she's the one that turned it off for me.
I mean,
I can't get up there and do it.
I'm not saying you've done it at all.
Oh, no.
I'm not.
But it was, like I said, it was in the off position when she looked at it.
I'm just saying somebody turned it on.
Yep, don't know who, and I sure can't afford $5,000 bill.
And I mean, it's gone over. I mean, it's just like 3,000 and something people. There's a lot of customers out there that cut their meters off when they know they had an issue. They cut them off. They're going to be on vacation in case something was to happen. So I mean, that's up to the customer. That's not on us.
Well, we turned it off because there's nobody living there.
And that's, I mean, like you said, you have a drive-by meter. They drive by, they read it. They're not getting out and touching the meter. So I mean, they're not the ones that cut the meter on.
Okay. But what would I do about the water bill? Because I cannot afford it. I'm on Social Security and I do good pay up what I pay. And with winter coming up, I'm going to have hard money to pay up.
Ms. Conover, with your water bill the way it is, if you don't pay the bill, your meter will get locked.
Good.
And you will not have water. You will not be instated with water until it's paid in full. That's what it will not be.
Like I said, I can pay. I'm not trying to fix the bill, it's just I have no money to take care of it. And, no, that's a lot of money. And there's been times that, I mean, I could throw that money to you, but not anymore. But it should, I mean, you know, and it turned back on again the second time.
Right, now you got another bill.
Yep, and she took a picture of the meter for me, and the gentleman was supposed to go over there and look at it, and make sure it was in opposition. Cause I showed him the picture of the meter.
Yes, ma'am.
I told her that time she's better take a picture of it. So what do you do?
Ms.
Y'all
Conlon?
put lock on it, okay?
Yes, ma'am. In the few years that I've been on the board, we're in a small group here, out of 3,200 and something customers. Multiple folks in that year's times I've been on the board have come to multiple board meetings because of the high usage bill, with a high bill of $5,000, $10,000. And it will be on the customer, is what it'll be. There will be some misfortune. We had a church, local church here, that had an outrageous bill. How did it happen? We don't have a clue, but it did. And I mean, the same thing took place. We had to lock the meter. That's what we had to do. We can't continue to just give water away for free. I mean, that's what took place.
Well, I don't. That's why I say definitely lock the meter, because I don't want it happening.
Right.
Well, is the meter not locked when you?
You don't want lock.
She didn't want much. She didn't want the service.
We turned it off. I should have put a lot on it. But we turned it off because nobody there. That's what I want to know.
If you run that much water, that you will.
The water company just never does any wrong, it's always on the customer.
Yeah, it's so much.
It's beyond reproach.
If you had seen her bill, and then 1 month.
Two people from the water department in Pulaski, where y'all buying water from.
Mr. Stacy,
2016, two different ladies gave me the same answer.
Mr. Smith, I am here half of what the first thing you said from everybody else talking. If everybody wants to be civil, and if you want to raise your hand and ask a question, we'll do that. Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
And also, I want to know why is it a difference in what this gentleman said and what they gave me, because they wrote it on a piece of paper and gave it to me $3.16 per gallon, 1,000 gallons.
What gentleman give you and what, who said
One
she
of
said?
the gentlemen, there's two ladies in the water department.
Okay.
Right as you go in the door on the right.
Okay. Do you not think it might have been a simple mistake?
No, because they wrote it on a piece of paper, because I told them, I said, write it down on a piece of paper, we're all having it.
Okay.
We get a bill from Alaska, and it's on that date. If you want to come out of the office and look at it, we can show you that. And that shows what we are paying. We're been here with Alaska, and that 356?
Yes.
That's what we're paying.
Same thing as this gentleman was talking about the water rate that everybody else has. Here a while back, out on Fall River Road, I live on Fall River Road. Out on Fall River Road, I reported the water leak. They said we went out and we fixed it. I'm not denying that they didn't. But what I'm saying is, the sun was shining the day before, and you got water running down a ditch, enough where you can see it driving down the road, and you see where it's boiling up out of the ground. And then also, I wanted a water tower put in it where my shop was at. If you don't use, what's a certain amount you get to use on just the standard uses?
1,500 gallons.
Okay, if you don't use it, you still get charged $41.
Correct. This one.
The other pay for some of these leaks that they've been having in, but I got a lot of them in.
How are the meters read?
Electronic. Satellite in the truck, you drive by. He has to do that to data logging now.
They can just drive by, even if you don't see him drive by, Facebook and something.
Yes, ma'am.
Mary Jane?
I have a question. If these meters are smart, and you can drive by and put them up and all this good stuff, why can't they tell me before I get that $900 bill that your meter's spinning awful fast? Why can't you text me and tell me, check your water?
We can't drive by every one of them every day.
That's not exactly what I mean.
All right, we're gonna answer Mary Jane Knox's question here first.
It's not a cellular meter, so it doesn't send stuff to our office.
No.
We have to do is drive by, so it picks the actual signal up.
Okay.
It would be great if we could do that, but.
I was fixing to say, if it's smart, why the heck take it? I mean, you know.
Okay, the guy spoke of a 3G meter. Okay, there was another option that we could have bought, say, not cellular, they would have been cellular meters, is what they would have been. All right, we do realize where we live. All these hills and hollers and everything, your cell phone does not pick up in every spot. So it would not pick up every customer, so that was not the right fit to go with. Okay, if we could have went with that option, it would have sent that information to the office. It would have red flagged us. But we can't do that for the whole system.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mr. Hunt, when did you say your board meetings are? What time and where? For the public to attend?
We meet at the water department, is where we meet, second Tuesday of every month at 3 o'clock.
At 3? Second Tuesday of every, so the next one will be December.
The next meeting will be tomorrow. We changed it because last Tuesday was the second Tuesday and it also was Veterans Day.
Okay, so it's your next meeting is tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Yes, sir.
At the water department.
Yes, sir.
To all people in attendance tonight, I suggest get involved in our community. If we do not get involved in our community, these gentlemen are up here getting some hits that they're not aware of. We're throwing darts at them, and rightfully so. But if we don't attend the meetings and know what's going on, 25% increase could have been probably solved in one of these meetings. I don't know. Folks, please, let's start filling up the water department where they have to come here and have their meetings. Everybody needs to get involved in the community. Not after the fact, prior to the fact. That's all I have to say.
Hold on, Mr. Iron, I'm not just reaching over. The woman in the back's had her hand up for a while.
I just have a question about the data entry. With the smart meters and how they changed it over, I've had multiple bills that have extra zeros counted on. The meter's not reading wrong, but the data entry and the computer in the office, and whoever does that, is not putting the numbers in correctly, which is then upping all of the bills, and then you guys are telling us it's our problem that the data entry is wrong. So I'm just curious on how you guys train the office, or whoever puts the data from the satellite into our bill, that middle person, people, there is a disconnect and a problem there. Because they're adding extra zeros where there shouldn't be extra zeros causing bill problems.
Our billing is with CNI, Computer Network Incorporated. They come to the office and train the office personnel.
When was the last time they were trained?
Here, just this spring is when they were trained.
Oh, so they were trained to do it wrong, because that's when all of the bills started going up.
Yeah. They lower it to say they update you.
I did not say that.
No, this gentleman did. Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Howard.
Okay. What was the price that was paid out for these and installed? The reason that went on for so long, when you get to the 1900s, is because internal people didn't have right insight, which would be who?
Board members.
Board members should have been watching them financially monthly. That should have been caught the first month. So, we may be wrong on some things, but you guys aren't perfect either.
They know, said we'll work.
You know? And so when it comes to these board meetings where all of us think everything should be good, and none of us show up at your board meeting, somebody there decided to raise it to 25%. Why?
It was passed on to us, and we have to, I mean, we don't have a choice but to pass it on.
To who? Who passed it on?
Our
You see,
supplier.
where we buy our water from.
It's just like your electric bill, sir. If TVA raises the price of Pulaski Electric will raise their price according to what their price is. And we, as customers, have to pay it. We don't have a choice. It's business. That's what you do.
Okay, so you're saying you buy the water from Pulaski for
Yes.
$3 or whatever it was. Where does that count that we have to pay the 25% more? You didn't have a 25% raise on what you have to pay out for the water.
Yes, we did. We had to buy, when they send us a bill, we have to pay that bill. And if it costs whatever, you gotta pay it. We've gotta pay it. We have no choice but to pass it on. I don't like it. My bill went up too, just like yours. But that's part of doing business. That's just the business aspect of it.
Sorry.
Kirby, would you like to say something? I mean, you're looking at.
I'm just listening.
Okay.
All right. Middle, ma'am, right over here, ma'am. Right here.
I just have a process suggestion based on my experience in the utility industry for nuclear generation. If you're collecting data electronically, I don't expect to see someone, as she suggested, doing data manual entry. That data should be automatically going into the system. And that's how your bills are generated. Not another person touching that keyboard. Find out if that's true, if that's fact.
That's the way they are done.
Okay, well then, her comment about having someone doing data entry in the office, that's not happening.
No, ma'am.
Right?
Right.
Okay, so does that resolve your
No, sir, I know
concern?
that it's happening. The office told me that they put it in. That way, my bill was reading 400 gallons when my meter was reading 40 after the exchange. So someone had to put an extra zero into a system for my bill to read that.
Or the system is adding it
Or
by
adding
itself?
extra zeros.
The algorithm is incorrect. That's all I'm saying. It does what you tell it to do.
Yeah, the algorithm is not incorrect, because if it was, you would have every customer receiving the same thing, so that's not taking place, that's not what's happening here. All right. The gentleman in the back, right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I appreciate y'all coming at 5, so we can come in and talk to y'all. 3 is hard to get to. If possible, I'd appreciate, while everybody's having problems, we could do it a couple hours later on the normal board meetings, more people come. I work in most of them, so I had to leave before to get here. A couple of questions. One, I had a $518 bill. Normally when my bill is high, I know left the water on, watering horses, something like that. I find a reason. Called, asked them to come out and reread it. They did. It took, I think, a little over a week, and that was fine. When the lady called, I believe Sherry, maybe, called? Not sure. Said, hey, you've got a big leak. You've used 12,000 gallons in 2 weeks. I said, okay, that's a lot of water. My meter's not spitting, so I don't have a leak. Hey, you should call a plumber. My uncle is James Malone. He'll do whatever for free. The twins, Jason, they'll help do whatever. But I don't need him to come if the meter's not spinning, water is not going through it, but somehow I have no leak. And I've used more than enough water to fill a 14 by 28 swimming pool 5 foot deep, which is a lot. So we kept talking back and forth about it, and she was good talking about it. I said, look, I need some resolution other than you just have to pay this, that's your only option. Because again, I've had a water leak under my house. I've had it coming out my crawl space. Y'all never got a call when that happened because I ate the like $300 bill because it wasn't y'all's fault. It was mine. She said, hey, I'll have Chance call. I've got his cell phone number, but I don't want to bother him. Never got a call. That was about 3 weeks ago. So, one, I wish we would make sure we do follow through and make those phone calls. Now, I don't know what system you could use to do that. But then the second question, maybe for these guys here, if somebody can drive by and pick up the information from the road on my meter, can I purchase something to connect to my Wi-Fi to monitor that meter so when I have a leak, I know it? Because I know I can get on Amazon and purchase some devices to strap to that meter, connect it to Wi-Fi, download an app, and it will tell me within reason what I'm using. But I would rather have something that y'all recommend and say, hey, you can do it with this and do that. If I'm going to spend a few $100s on it, great. It's better than the $518.37 water bill. Especially when the lady called, she said, your water bill is going to be that high again. I said, great, it's $1,000 in 2 months. Anyway, if there's anything like that y'all can tell us about, that would be great. If I can give y'all my contact info so y'all can send me something. Be more than willing to try to purchase whatever within reason. Thank y'all.
I second his motion to move from 3 to 5 p.m.
There's no way we can accommodate everybody time-wise. I mean, we can't, there's 70, 80 of you here. We can't make your time and your time and your time all work out.
We all made it here by 5.
We
all made it here by 5.
Yeah, right.
We're all here by 5.
All right, hold on. To answer your question about moving at 5, okay? A lot of the stuff that we deal with are vendors and people and stuff, and we try to accommodate them to get them in on normal business hours. They have to travel, is what they have to do 2 to 3 hours away. That is the reason why the times are set a little bit earlier. All right, tomorrow's meeting is already set at 3 because it has to be put out there at a time. Okay? We will look at tomorrow's meeting about changing, but I mean, we cannot accommodate everybody on time.
It's true, you cannot. Majority speech made today at 5 p.m. I'm not on the
All right, the gentleman standing up in the back that had his hand up for the longest. No, yes, sir, you had your hand up.
How do you not have contracts with Pulaski or Limestone? In this day and age, in this business you're in, how do you not have a fixed contract?
We have reached out multiple times since I've been on the board, and they will not sign a contract. Nobody that buys water from Pulaski has a contract. Nobody from any of the other utilities that buy from Limestone County don't have a contract.
Have you ever fought legally to get a contract?
No,
Or
sir.
are you just rolling over and accepting it?
We take it as it is.
Could that possibly be brought up? Taking legal action to actually have something concrete contract?
All we gotta do today is, we ain't sending y'all no more water, what we gonna do? We can reverse it. Exactly. It already happened.
We've got Limestone County cut us off before. I mean, we don't produce our water. All we do is send it down the line to y'all. That's all we do. We have to buy it from somebody else. Mr. Jackson spoke of another, water what'd you call it, Mr. Jackson? Southern water, whatever. That is the reason why I'm looking for another alternative water source.
pressure to stop these water leaks?
It is, as of right now, the only thing coming is a few sections of gray pipe that are still in the ground. It's in the works to replace them. The rest of the old line has been replaced. It is not due to be replaced.
And a lot of people don't realize, we cover the whole west side of this county, from the state line to the county line. It was done. It was.
Yes, sir, it was, way before our time. Way before my time. All right. Michelle, hold on.
I
Michelle.
may have this calculated all wrong to think this way, but I would think that if, it's my understanding that Limestone County is growing by leaps and bounds and having a hard time even providing those within their community with water. Personally, if it were me, I wouldn't want to sign a contract with us because we're growing by leaps and bounds. So if there were a legal binding contract and something happened and their water supply went low, they would look at being sued by everybody that's so sue happy that there's a contract with water that they couldn't provide. So that would be my guess. I don't know if that's right.
That's exactly why, they don't think you're the home customer before they do anybody else.
That would be my guess on that. I don't know if that's right, but that's what I would think. I think that probably Limestone and Pulaski say absolutely no in the contract because that would leave them legally binding to have to provide us with water. And if something happened on their end and they couldn't, they're open for a lawsuit.
I mean, it's just like if we produce our own water and soda to help, and John want us to sign a contract with them to produce, give them so much water and take a chance of putting our compliance up.
We got one more woman right here, lady right here's got her on. Yes, ma'am.
What I wanted to know was, how much is it per gallon that we pay for our water? Just so that I can calculate my usage. Because when I look at my bill, it'll give me a number, and I don't fully understand that number in my usage. For instance, 40 or 70 says usage. And then how much is it per gallon that I am paying?
I don't know what we're breaking down to per gallon of this.
Not per gallon.
Per 1,000 gallons is fine. Per 1,000 gallons is fine, then I can calculate that.
According to the first 1,500, and that's kind of amount per 1,000.
Yeah, what's the X amount per 1,000?
1556 per 1,000 gallons.
After the 42.
After the
After the
15.
After the 1,500 gallons.
Okay, well, thank you.
Go ahead.
Pertaining to this lady's here with the big bill, and you're gonna go lock it. She still will have to pay the $42 monthly, was?
No, she won't.
Once it's locked, she won't.
It'll do.
Okay, then, I read somewhere on the smart issue probably for you guys over here, something about some of the casings or the places where the meters are stuck in the ground are covered by like a metal cap railing. In some places they've had to change that to a plastic or fiberglass or something because the metal interfered with the reading. Is that any truth to that?
You know, metal lid will attenuate the radio signal, but typically they're gonna pick up that radio signal, and if they pick it up, it's fine. If they don't get the distance that they're looking for, some people have put plastic lids on to increase the range on that transmitter.
It's not gonna affect the reading itself, it's just either gonna be a reading or they're not gonna get the reading. So that's why we changed from metal lid, because it might not get as far away.
And one more thing is, like they were talking about the time, I mean, if it's one meeting per month, I think you guys should be able to accommodate us, the customers, maybe a little bit better than 3 o'clock. Like they said, I don't get off until 8, get home until 8. And I really do want to be part of the meeting, so I don't have to go here, see, I hear it right from you guys. So I'd be appreciative.
Would a Zoom meeting be possible?
That's it.
We could try something like that. All right, we do need to hold the meeting in the office though, because that is where all the information is at. We can get on the computers and look up. We can't come here and hold a board meeting without all the information. You can't move all that down here. So we do need to hold the board meeting in our office. every time is what we need to do. Okay, we got Brett in the back.
Do you have an estimate on how many gallons you've lost on leaks on the district side of the system for 2025? And do you know how many gallons you're losing today for leaks that you know about?
No, sir. I mean, we're running an average of, you're allotted to run 40% is what you're allotted. I know that seems enormous, but I mean, it is miles and miles and miles of line in the ground. You can't pick it all up.
I would love to answer the question that the guy back asked about, is there some device that we can look at our Wi-Fi?
So there's not anything with the current system that's in place. There are some third-party devices out there that, like in a sense, strap online, and then it'll measure the list flow going through the line that'll transmit to a refrigerator magnet or something like that. But we do not sell a device that does that for English.
Okay. But there is something that could say, ding, 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 okay, it's going on.
The continuous flow is happening, yes.
Okay.
Any chance y'all could recommend something? Because if, when you get on Amazon and try to look for that, who knows what you're getting? Because I almost bought one that's $250. Because again, what's that compared to a $500 bill 2 months in a row? But I'm scared to buy it. Because yes, there's some reviews, but who knows who put those in? So if there's anything, possibly a third-party component that y'all could recommend to them, and if we call in, they could let us know or something, that would be awesome.
We can certainly do some research and see what's out there, what other people have used, and feed that data back.
Mr. Howard, next.
Okay, you said that the old meters wasn't registered, right? Did anybody check them? For the gallon and gallon? That's because when they was put in, just like gas pumps that are cut at the thing, a gallon's gotta be a gallon. When it was put in, a gallon's gotta be a gallon. You didn't check them and said, wait a second, we're off. Now they'll change to the new meters. I know, these people come to you and they're selling gas items. Gas are glad for it. We'll go for it. Because some of us are paid. The thing is you replace meters that didn't need to be changed.
Okay. All right, so we'll answer your question.
Okay.
So, for master meter, when we produce meters, we build meters and ship them out the door, we have to meet the spec from the American Water Works Association that all of those meters have to be 98.5 to 101.5% on accuracy. So we don't ship a meter out that doesn't fall within that standard, and we're held to that level.
And the old meters was the same way when they bought them. It was registered and calculated just like you're saying.
When they were new.
But see, over in Israel, where you guys are from, you guys, there's different kind of meters that read liters instead of gallons. Ours say gallons on the thing. But there's software that runs off of all these computers, going to the truck, to the thing, and then downloading the thing in the computer. There's things that can be wrong in there that is calculating gallons to liters.
And has it been checked?
And it has nothing to do with the meter. It just has to do with the software. You guys are talking about getting another software or a billing thing from plastic, if I heard right. So why is that being changed? Because your other system ain't working right. And why? Because some billing and some software won't jive with their software in their system.
For us, I mean, we interface with billing software across the country and worldwide.
And there's problems all over the country about it.
told me he was doing all he could to get it put in. I'm finally having to call on the board and go get something done. Nothing reflecting back to him again, because they had their hands full. But what I am saying is, I paid $1,500 for the tap they put in back in December. The rates changed first of the year. It went to $1,750. Why did the rates have to change to $1,750? And then one other thing. I would like to give you this card right here where this lady wrote this down for $3.16 per 1,000 gallons. And if I have to, I will meet you at the water department and tell you, and be glad to introduce you to the ones that gave it to us.
Kirby, can I see that? Cause I think that $2.16.
No, it's $3.16.
The $3.16 was what it was before the 25% rate increase. After the 25% rate increase, it took place in July, then it went to the $3.50-something a thousand. So this $3.16 is correct, but it was before the rate increase took place in July. And if they give this to you after July, somebody just made it.
Just like I said earlier, it's the
Them ladies, right when you go in the water, all back and 25% rate increase. And the same told me, what I redid with my $1,500 back in December, all the way, and I didn't read the water bill, but
You paid $1,500 for water.
yeah, I never got water bill.
It's not anything. The cost of everything has went up since COVID. Boards, pipes, meter boxes, the actual meter itself.
The board,
Why did I not get a meter? Why did I not get a water bill when it was still too high?
Our system has grown more than any other system in the entire county. So more tax than anybody else in the county. We cannot get to everybody that fast.
and we have to rely on the board crew to do the board, and we have to,
Build a house, because my house still wouldn't be lived.
and we have to rely on the board crew to come, and we have to reverse it, but that way we'll get served on one area and then that other.
Gentleman back here in the sweatshirt, gray sweatshirt.
If I'm gonna get say I wanna get a meter at a new property, right? Does that meter have to be paid for before it's installed?
Yes, sir.
How long has that practice been in place?
Ever since I've been on the board.
Then explain to me why I had to pay $1,500 for a meter that was already on my property.
How long ago was it?
2013.
We stopped that.
That does not exist anymore.
We stopped that.
Since I have been on the board, that has changed. Because that is not fair.
That is what?
That's not fair.
No, it's not fair.
We're not paying the guys to come back out there and do any other extra work, so why would that be fair for you to pay another $1,500?
Well, I did. I had that.
And see, we've had other customers come in, but that was before the policy was changed, so we can't back up and do anything about that.
But they told me the meter was never paid for.
Yes, sir, the meter's put in, the meter's paid for.
Then somebody owes me $1,500. Just eat that too, right?
Hey, that's one reason I went on the board for that problem.
And another question, this gentleman back here said he had a leak for 6 months at his meter. And it took that long to get it fixed, but when it affected you, it was done in 4 hours.
No, sir.
You said that. That's exactly what you said.
Yeah. If you want to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, that'll be fine. Okay? A service leak is a 3/4 line, is what it is. And the small amount that leaks out of it, yes, it should have been addressed, and I apologize that it was not taken care of before 6 months. It was an 8-inch line on the road that Mr. Howard lives on, 8-inch. There is thousands of gallons that pump out of that line within a matter of minutes, is what it is. So yes, that is priority, is what that is.
Okay. you know that little, so you know if you wanna go down the main highway here and cut over to Salem, there's a loop right there right now. I ain't doing shit. Are you here? I'm Brandon Darnell. I commented quite a bit on it.
This is live.
Awesome.
Also, why do we have to go to electronic drive-by? Did anybody get laid off because now when they have to drive by in a car, whatever, county truck, whatever, you drive by and pick up, that's it.
Well, when you announced this meeting, I showed up 2 weeks in advance because I thought it was 2 weeks ago. I was ready for a confrontation.
We can't talk, you talk about a 6-month water leak.
Mr. Heath talked about 45-day reslide.
You guys, well, I'm looking at it, these guys can work that, these guys that are making another thing, these gentlemen do it all.
Yeah, I'm about sick of all these elected politicians. Well, it's rules for thee, but not for me.
Here, state line, Canaan line.
Well, I'm just gonna apologize right off because I'm whining. We've only lived here for a year, but our water bill has more than doubled. And I've been keeping track on a calendar, and we do 4 showers a week, 4 loads of laundry a week, 1 hand wash dishes daily. And I had to stop taking baths, and that dropped our bill $25. But I feel like we're living in the Stone Ages when I have to keep my rinse water and put it in my toilet to flush the toilet to try to keep our bill down because we're on Social Security. We've lived in Delaware, we've lived in Savannah, Tennessee, we've lived in Oklahoma. We've never had water bills over $100. I don't understand why the rates are so high, and I pray that you follow through and pursue looking for another water source that you were talking about, because if they, like you're saying, Pulaski raises the rates again because of the amount of water that Minor Hill is using or Giles County is using, you know, are we gonna get to a place that we can't pay our water bill and we're forced to have our water shut off or take it out of our grocery money, which is the only flexible bill that we have monthly? I just think that the rates are incredibly high here.
I mean, DAUD told us a couple years ago, people will pay more one day for water than they do. You look at Murray County, they have to go get water now. The cost of treat water is went up on the limestone, on Red Factory, or the chemicals that are found in the Elk River.
4 showers, 4 loads of laundry, and 1 load of dishes a day. That is all the water we have used in 2 months. I have a calendar by the sink and I keep track of it. And our bill is always $100 or more for that small, for using that much water. I feel like we set an egg timer for 2-minute showers. I think they do that in prison or something. But I can't even take a bath. No. Can't afford the water to take a bath. I wish we had that here. what everybody.
People, I came here for a meeting, not listen to gossip and BS back here when this gentleman's trying to talk. Please be respectful.
Thank you.
I cannot hardly hear myself because I'm deaf, okay? Please.
I was just curious, is after your 350 is taken out to reimburse you for the 1,000 you guys are buying, how does that other $38, $39 break down to? Is it for infrastructure, your guys' salaries or pay, or? I mean, that seems like quite, I mean, does Pulaski do the same thing? I don't know how none of that works. Do they have a set fee for the first X amount you use to, or?
No. Some counties do, some counties have a set price. Some counties have a 2,000 gallon minimum, some counties have a 500, 1,000, or whatever. Each county, some counties don't even give away any water. They don't have a set price. You pay for everything you use, is what you do. For every gallon that goes to your meter, you pay. The 1,500 gallons is trying to give the customers a better deal, is what the 1,500 gallons is set there for. And yes, if you pay $3.56 per 1,000 gallons, if that's what we're paying for, yes, it's costing us that much more for tanks to store water in, electricity to pump it, pipe in the ground, guys to go service, fix leaks. It's all a cost on us. Our board members, I mean, no, we're barely paid anything per month. I mean, you want to break it down? I've been in the hole ever since I've been on this board. My time has went well over what I've ever been paid for this thing.
Well, we appreciate that.
No, you get paid, that's pretty good.
So, this should be a question everybody wants to know, since everybody's complaining about their meters. If we wanted to contest the meter, what would it cost to contest the meter? Like if I think my meter's bad, I'm not saying I want y'all to come dig it up. I'm just saying, everybody's complaining about it, that's one thing we haven't covered. If we think it's bad, how do we contest that meter, get it dug up so it can be tested or whatever? What's the process for that? Thank you.
Mr. Malone, is your bill went back down?
No, because I called and she said that it's going to be $500 something again. That's what she told me. And I'm not saying with y'all. I'm just asking, what's the process? That to me, if I was y'all, that's what I would have told everybody. One of the first things, if you think your meter's bad, you can contest it. This is what it will cost you to contest your meter. You know, I mean, if everybody here's got an issue with theirs, they may want to know what. I know it's going to be high. That's why I'm asking. So everybody knows.
That's something we'll have to look at. As far as your meter, no, we will have somebody come and catalog your meter and see if your meter is actually showing times and stuff when water's supposedly going through it. All right.
Well, I'll keep keeping a check on it.
That's what we come and check and see.
I appreciate it. I'll keep keeping a check on it. And maybe these guys will come up with something good I can purchase to put on there. That way I've got some instant or fairly instant info and can call my uncle to go cut it off or something. You know, and get somebody over there to come fix it. But I was just wondering about that.
Right. We have a person in the back with our hand
Sorry, just a direct question to your statement about the 1,500 gallon, flat fee trying to pass on savings to customers. You said that then, that 1,500 gallon minimum is $41, and then for every 1,000 gallons after that, it's $15.56, which means, based on that price for 1,000 gallons, 2,000 gallons would be just over $30, about $31. So we're actually paying more for 1,500 gallons, that minimum that's required at 41. So the math ain't math, is all I'm saying. You said that was a savings, that this baseline, we're just gonna lump sum you $41 for the first 1,500 as a savings, when we're actually being charged $10 more right there, like just in that instance. I'm not saying I need an answer right now, I just wanted to address that direct statement. That's not a savings. That's an extra $10 in your pocket for every household.
guy asked about checking the meters, he don't mean the guy coming out and giving you data or sales. That needs to be evidently taken out and put on some kind of a bank or something to measure a gallon that they're measuring gallons to be right. Now, I asked the gentleman when he come out, I said, no, I told him the same thing about buying something new. How do you find out? You put another one on and see if it makes a difference. He said, well, I can do that, but it's gonna cost you $500. Okay, so we can't do that. When you got the master meter, Plano, Texas, 90% of your meters turns out the transceiver sending out to the truck was fast and wrong, and they had to take all your meters out. And now they're suing the master meter company right now because of it. And that's the city. Same thing. You guys are putting in wrong things. These guys here got the right to sue you for putting up with all this stuff.
So, I don't know anything about what's going on there, but, you know, for us, I'm totally good if you wanna take a meter and get it tested. I prefer it be tested by a third party. I mean, typically the cost to get a meter tested is probably somewhere from $75 to $100 per meter. So
That's what I'm saying. The cost is always put on us. Same thing, like I said, nobody answered that. Was the old meter tested on the same thing? To see if they're wrong. We're being told they're wrong, but they don't have no data to tell us that it's wrong. Okay? They more or less are making out like we have stole water from them, you guys, for all these years. And now we're getting paid, we're getting charged for the accurate amount that we're not stealing.
Nobody's ever accused you of stealing any water.
What is that? You said the meters are wrong and we wasn't paying what we should have been paying. Same
So
thing.
they wouldn't charge you, is what they wouldn't do. Anything's gonna wear out, Mr. Howell.
Like they steal meters, but nobody checked them.
Hang on.
You can't tell me the meters wasn't accurate.
Alright.
So why say that these are more accurate than them? When you have to test the old meters.
The guy's been in this business for 30+ years.
The life expectancy of a water meter is 10 years. Once it reaches 10 years, it has reached its climax of being read accurately, is what they say. So once the meter reaches 10 years old, it becomes to decline dramatically. We have seen them decline before 10 years, but 10 years is the life expectancy of your meters.
Just to speak briefly on the project, one of the reasons why we did this project for the meter swap out was this entire district was primarily a manual read only district. As you guys all have seen, guys in the trucks would have to individually read 3,200 meters every 30 days. It's very time intensive on staff, limited staff resources. And this is all time that they cannot spend putting in new taps, repairing water main breaks, and conducting utility business, because a lot of the time is taken up by these meters. So one of the issues, as we mentioned, is the accuracy, but also the time savings for staff so that they can focus on some of the bigger priorities that the district has.
Go ahead. No, sorry.
Okay, so you say.
Wait, you make Mr. Howard, she was first. Sorry.
On the bill, you see, there's a usage range, and then there's a total usage. What is that unit of measure? The total usage? If I get 47 for a range of 175 to 222, what's that equal to? 4,000? 40,000 gallons?
You have to add 2 zeros.
Yeah, 2 zeros to it.
4,700.
Correct.
Okay, so with that said,
4,000.
and I apply $41 to the first 1,500, and then
56. You gotta take the tax.
I'm gonna gonna leave this with you, and you can tell me if I'm not really crazy about how it's adding up.
All right, 41, you gotta take tax off of 41. You gotta break that back down. Okay, you gotta get the tax off before you can ever.
$3.
Yes, and it's got tax.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. Howard was next.
Okay, so you say you're saving labor by not having two guys, you're still sending one guy out there to read meters. So the one guy, and they're, how many days does it take? They're not out reading meters 30 days, 30 days a month, so 3 days, you're out one guy. So you've already saved one guy, why did you put an ad in the paper where you're hiring another person?
You gotta put taps in, you gotta fix leaks, you got leaks, they were leaking 6 months.
We also had one guy quit.
Yeah, that's one guy quit. So we replaced that guy. Go ahead.
Who currently holds your certification for running the water department?
Bobby Page, out of Elton.
Don't work in this system.
No.
Is that legal?
Yes, sir, it is.
That's just before Bobby had it, Barry Tracy kept the license, kept it going.
I just thought somebody had to be him.
They ain't gotta be in the house.
If you hire somebody, they've done the work in this field for a year before they can ever go take the test, and he is fixing to take his test. Go ahead, Mr. Howard.
Okay, the comptroller, you said that you were told by somebody to raise 25%. Show me in writing from the comptroller's kind of suggested that.
The comptroller did not tell us to raise the rate.
Okay, now,
That's
if
the
you look
end
at
of
the
that.
audit, you guys are not working on a bankruptcy thing. You guys have got a surplus of, I think, around $12 million right now. You pay bills on loans, there's loans that you pay out for some of the other stuff. But you guys are not right down to where, oh, we have to charge this 25% extra. It's usually the comptroller, and the comptroller can't suggest anything because they haven't even went over your last year's audit. And they're the ones that suggested you to raise it to possibly 4%, and that's what you did. So why is it Pulaski is the one telling you to charge us the 25%?
They don't tell us, they don't tell us, they tell us what we gotta pay for it.
Right.
And then we pass it on.
But that don't need to be passed on.
It's got to, we can't, or we wanna be able to keep us in, it's business.
How much is in the bank right now? And you gotta pass this on to hurt the social security people and everything else.
There's not even a million in the bank.
There's like 9 million.
No, sir. No, sir, it's not.
Hey, if you can find it, we'd like to have it.
Yep. If you can show us the 9 million in the bank, show it to us.
Look at the 2023 number. It's out there, everybody.
That is gone, 23 is behind us.
Right, we don't know about the 24 because you haven't put that out.
It has been put out.
Why is it posted? I can't find it anywhere, and the comptrollers say they haven't got it yet. And that was supposed to be due 5 months after January 1st. What date is it now? It's going into November, and they still don't have it. Now, why isn't there an audit so we can see where the money's going and how much you got and what's going on? It's not out there.
Yes, sir, the audit was done, the audit was paid for, we can put you in touch with the people that actually done the audit, if you would like that. Okay? Go ahead.
Aren't we one of the highest pay more than most places in the city?
Do what now if you,
Isn't our water rate higher than most every other place in the city?
no ma'am, South Child still has the highest rate in the county.
I'm talking about statewide.
Oh, I don't have a clue.
I think we're one of the back and hire an extra people and they come out and read our meters like they used to, because when I moved here 13 years ago, I was paying $65 and now it's over $100 every month. And that's, something is not right. Hire people, go read the meters, go look at them, something. I mean, why are we responsible for all the mistakes? I don't hear y'all taking credit for anything that's going wrong.
Maybe.
There is no answer.
Thank y'all for coming out tonight.
One more thing.
Go over here.
All right, doing a rough calculation, you paying 350 something, we're paying 40 something. Isn't that 800% profit margin? It isn't? My calculator's wrong? We all got here today so you could talk to us calmly, politely, and explain why we shouldn't create a lawsuit. For the first 45 minutes, you were rude, abrupt, and just not polite to most of these people. Telling this lady, well, you don't have any water. Just like that. That is not the way to win hearts. You messed up.
Basically, what I've heard, probably the PR group to try to go around and make people minor heal. You know, try to say, yeah, we'll see if you've got a problem. Or maybe give these people and get a gold certified meter in a box and go and say, okay, we're gonna put it in and we're gonna run it for a month.
Can y'all get us one of them right there, auto water, please?
Well, I mean, the guys right over there, I'm sure they got one because I was in Florida for years, you know, everything ain't gonna let the same, everything's not going to if you've got some certified, something can get out. Some of this stuff could be get out. If they make 10,000 meters, some of them could be out. And some of these people could have a just cause of $500 or something like that. But if you had a meter that was certified, or 2 or 3 meters they supplied to be certified, it's like, okay, we tested these. And this is 100% on. We'll come out and put it on for a month. We'll come out and put it on for 2 months. And maybe you'll get people and treat people better. And when they've got a water leak, they'll say your commode's running. I don't want to know commode's running. You know, for years I went to feed cows in water troughs like you do. I can't afford to feed 40, 50 cows in water troughs now. Because see, I can't afford it when water's higher than likely, you know. And so I don't know what we've come to here when we can't afford water, but we can afford electricity. And TVA comes in and say, okay, we'll put this stuff on your box and try to lower your bill a little bit. But I've got a spring, and it's not really affecting me like a lot of people, but I feel bad for all these people. And y'all need to be nicer to them and say, well, I'm sorry, we're working on this. We're working on this. Don't be smart like you were smart when you first got here. You know, we're all here, we're all people, you know what I mean?
Well, I apologize, you know, for coming off smart. Okay, apologize to every one of you if y'all feel that way. I mean, if you think I'm being hateful. Miss Jane Conover, we've been over her bill already twice, and it's been the 3rd time tonight, is what this is. Okay? We did not cut her meter on. Don't have a clue who cut it on.
He didn't do it either.
No, sir, I don't have a clue who cut it on. So if we go to writing her water off and cutting her water back on for her at that, why do we not have to do it for the entire district?
Only after you certify that water meter is bad or good, like these gentlemen are speaking of. Go ahead and change it out. Don't charge another $500 because of the $5,000 bill that you already asked. Take another meter, put it in there, let's check it out and see what happens. There's nothing wrong with that.
She did say very clearly.
Nothing wrong with
that it was
verifying.
cut off and it was still spinning.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with
That
that.
man told you there's probably something wrong with it.
If both meters are right, then she has $5,000. Think about that. When people have challenges, we have to have a fix. And a fix is, in my mind,
get another product, put in there, leave it for 30, 40, 50, whatever you day. If, you know, it's the same old thing. Verify. Just don't say, man, you have to cut it 5,000 or we're going to cut your water off. No, sir, ma'am, we're going to do this for you and see. How's that?
That water bill was zero for months, for even years. And then one month it was $5,000, and then went back to zero. I understand somebody needs to eat the cost, but this lady, she says no one lives there. No one, I don't know how to fix that problem.
Whenever we bought that place, the water meter was back to Hidden Hills. And there's a line run all the way from there to the house, which is on Mine Hill Highway. We've had water leaks before and wouldn't know about it for 6 months or something because I can't walk, I'm not going, I can't walk that line. Well, not now especially, but can you get a water meter and put it over there on the Mine Hill Highway where it's on our lane? Well, it's not mine, but can you put a water meter over there?
I don't know exactly where your meter is, I don't know, and we can look into it and see. I do not know your circumstance on where your meter is located, where your actual house is, how far away it is, I don't know.
Well, it goes all across the hill.
Well, we cannot put a meter on somebody else's property that goes to your house.
Well, it's on somebody else's property there. What is that one guy's name? Larry? I mean, he has the Huntington.
Larry Myers.
Yeah, he got him and somebody else. It's right, goes across both of their lanes.
But at this point, we can't go out there today and put one on somebody else's
Yeah,
property.
but can you put one on our land, on that land there, out there by Mine Hill Highway? Our land doesn't go all the way back there. Can you put it on our land?
Is there a rock bluff in front of that property? Is there a rock bluff in front of that property?
Not in the ditch part of that. Y'all got a line that goes up to the houses back there where what dog kennel is or something?
It's not rock bluff right there, though, is it?
Well, it is to the right and the left of it, not right there where that comes down to the road.
That's why your meter is where it is, I understand it.
Well, it was put in back many years ago.
Yes, ma'am. And up until just a few months ago, the guys had to get out and manually read the meter. So they had to get out, they had to get out and walk all the way around the rock bluff and never got your reading. So the meter was put so they would have quick access to it. That's why your meter was put.
Yeah, that's back there.
Yes, ma'am.
But can you not put it there on the Mine Hill Highway?
Not directly in front of your property because of that. Ain't it like a 6-foot rock bluff right there?
No, it comes down to a little valley. You know where it goes up Hidden Hills? The first, the drive that's past that rock thing, goes up the path. You could check it out.
Right.
You might be able to answer it. Let's
Right,
see,
we would have to look at it.
Yeah, I think that would be fair. Y'all look at it and check and see if you can. Because whoever you sell this house to is gonna want some water.
Right.
And I'm sure they won't want it back there, which goes through, like I said, through people's yard, pasture. And everything. I don't even know how much it costs to want to put in, but I knew to cut it out and have it cut back out and everything's gonna cost quite a bit. So we just turn the meter off and left it that way. And nothing happened until y'all took smart meter in. So, I just don't understand, but that's not for me to understand, I guess. But if you would go by and check it and see if you can. All right, I appreciate it.
Just one more. Will you guys, each individual meter caliper, micrometer, anything, we measure anything with, according to our standards, has to be calibrated every 6 months or every 12 months, depending on what the device is, and then documented accordingly. And that's what you guys do. So would you have certificates for the meters that were installed stating that they have been calibrated to a standard?
We do have a test result. We test every single meter as it's going through production, coming off of it. And I think we have a list of those test results that came in.
I don't know what their standard would be. I know ours is different from whatever precision device they have.
So how often are they recalibrated?
I'm sorry?
How often are they recalibrated?
The meters, so we can only calibrate them when we go through production. We do low, intermediate, high flow tests as they go through production, and then they're shipped out the door. And then, you know, after that, third party can test them whenever they want to test them. They're guaranteed accuracy and warranted for accuracy for a period of time.
Thank y'all for coming.
Can I get y'all's names and spell them, because this is going to News Channel 5,
Get our name?
and spell them? This is going for a reporter.
I don't know if I can share that.
Your name?
Yeah. I mean, we said our names at the beginning of the
I know,
thing.
and I'm sorry, I wasn't recording then because I wasn't expecting you to start. It's all right, I'll get your name from someone else. Can you give me your name? Okay, well, we got a Scott out of it. Can you give me your name?
Somebody else.
Can you give me your name?
Chris Strupp.
I beg your pardon?
Chris Strupp.
Could you spell it, please?
Chris and Strupp, S-T-R-U-P-P.
Okay, thank you.